Hi there! Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo with thepaperpixie.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And in today's video tutorial, I want to show you how to make this super quick and easy treat box that you can make using the Lots to Love box framelits by just using one piece of the Lots to Love box. This is intended to cut out two pieces to make a larger box, but you can just cut out one to make this adorable little treat box. I want to give credit to fellow demonstrator Elizabeth Shannon in the UK. She's where I found this idea, and you just have to make two simple score lines, a little bit of cutting away, and this box goes together so quickly. You can actually get 3 of these out of one piece of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, which I love that you can get multiples out of one sheet of cardstock. So this makes a really great project to make multiples of. So I've got 3 little mini Kit Kats in here. It also fits 2 Ghirardelli squares very nicely as well. Got a little magnetic closure on it, and it's just a sweet little treat box. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use thick Whisper White cardstock for this project, and I started with a piece of cardstock that measured 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, and that's a pretty perfect fit for the Lots to Love box framelits. And again, you can get 3 of these out of one piece of 8.5 by 11. And using the Simply Scored, all we're going to do is score at 2 1/8 and 2 3/4. And then what we're going to do is cut into those score lines, stopping at the horizontal on both the top and the bottom to create little tabs here. We're also going to notch those in, and then we're going to remove these outer tabs. This is optional. I chose to remove them. There's no need to have those tabs, but you can certainly keep them if you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish on all the score lines. And then we're going to go ahead and cut up these score lines, stopping at that horizontal score line to create our tabs. We'll do that on both sides. And then I'm going to remove these tabs created over here. Then we're left with a piece that looks like this. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and start by adhering this really fun Bubbles and Fizz designer series paper. Here's a little swatch book for you. This is free with a $50 order from now through March 31st. It's one of the celebration options. Love this paper. So I have 2 pieces that measure 2 inches by 2 7/8 inches. Now let me just dry fit this box to show you that this bottom flap is going to fold up to be the front. We're going to wait to adhere the front panel. So what I want you to do is adhere the back panel first. Just going to use some fast fuse and make this really quick. All right, so now what I want to do is we're going to go ahead and put our magnets on now. It's going to make it easier because I'm actually going to hide the magnet on the front behind this designer series paper. So that's why we're waiting to glue this down. Here's the trick. I'm going to go ahead and take a mini glue dot and pick one up with my paper piercer and stick it on one of these magnets. Now these magnets I get at Spider Magnets on eBay. These ones measure 8 millimeters by 1/2 millimeter. I also love the 8 millimeters by 1 millimeter. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that, kind of centering it, but we're just putting it on the back side of that front flap. Okay? So now the trick is I'm going to go ahead and fold on that first score line from the left and the second score line from the right. And that's going to match that up right where we want it to go, okay? Just a little trick. Go ahead and use your folds to your advantage to square this up. So then what we're going to do is take our other magnet and drop it gently on that other one. It's going to line up the proper positive and negative. Then we'll grab one more glue dot, stick that to the magnet, and again folding on that second score line from the right, pressing that magnet into place, and when you lift up, those magnets are going to be right where they need to be. Isn't that cool? So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this DSP to hide that magnet. Now we can go ahead and put the box together. And what I like to do is start with the tabs. I like to use liquid glue for this. So put glue on one tab at a time. And I'm going to start with adhering this tab to the back side. And all I'm doing is lining up this cut edge to this score line. And your measurements will be just slightly off. You'll see that this isn't going to quite cover, but that's totally fine. Nobody will notice it. It's the easiest way to make this sweet little box. I'll do the same thing on the other tab. Again, gluing that to the back panel, squaring up those corners there, and holding into place. All right, now next, I'm going to just go ahead and put glue on the back side of these tabs to then glue that into place here. All right, and there we go. There's a little box with our magnetic closure, super cute. I'm going to go ahead and put in our 3 Kit Kats. And then we're going to do a little bit of decoration on the front. First, let's get the easiest part over with. I'm going to stamp using the Bubble Over stamp set, which coincidentally coordinates with the free Bubbles and Fizz Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to use this little sentiment for you. I'm going to stamp that on Whisper White in Calypso Coral. Then I'm going to punch that out with our little 1/2-inch circle punch. Then I'm going to punch out a 3/4 inch circle from our silver foil paper. We'll stick those two together. I'm just going to grab a glue dot here to make this quick and easy, but you could certainly use liquid glue. And we'll pop that on the front with a Stampin' Dimensional. All right, and then one of my absolute favorite punches is the bow builder punch. And we're going to go ahead and quickly make a bow for the front of this flap. Now I'm going to punch this out from Calypso Coral paper, and there's a trick to getting the bow working better. You want to make sure you punch along the 8.5 inch side. It's because of the pattern of the paper fibers is going to give you a much smoother bow loop. So you want to go ahead and punch out 2 of those. And we're going to have 2 of the bow loops, 2 of the tails, and you can actually throw away 1 of the middle wraps. Using your bone folder, go ahead and gently curl those loops and break down the paper fibers. We'll do the same thing to this little wrap, just gently. Don't do it too much because then your paper will start to separate. And then I love to use liquid glue for this. It does take a little bit longer, but I find that if you were to use the mini glue dots, it adds a little bit of thickness. So I'm just going to put glue on those little tabs and pinch those tabs together. Repeat on the second loop. Then I'm going to glue those 2 loops together. And then it doesn't matter which side of the bow here, but we're going to go ahead and glue the bow ends and just kind of lining up tab to tab. All right, and then the last thing we have to do is just to wrap this bow middle. So I start by placing it around the front, then I'll do one side at a time, tightly wrapping that around the bow. Then you have this adorable little bow. Isn't that sweet? So now what I'm going to do is just put some glue on the back of the knot and a little bit on either side of the bow ends. And then we will place that right where we want it on the box flap and hold into place. All right, and then the final piece of decoration is going to be a silver heart from our metallic enamel shapes. And I'm going to place that right in the center of the bow. And there we have it, an adorable little half-size Lots to Love box that perfectly holds 3 miniature Kit Kats or 2 Ghirardelli chocolates or any other treat that you'd love to fill this sweet box with. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss my next video. If you're in the US and you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project details and measurements. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. And I have options to subscribe to both my daily blog updates as well as my newsletter, and I'd love to welcome you as a subscriber. You can always shop my online store at thepaperpixie.com/shop, And if you'd like to join my growing team of paper pixies, you can join by going to thepaperpixie.com/join. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.